I think that it's been missing, and it's something that you guys at Avisae have had, is a systematic approach. And that's something that Randy and Val and the Libby brothers and Greg and Bess and all of the amazing leaders have brought to this organization, is a systematic approach. And one of the things that we've always said with this company is that if you're with us 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 100 years, no matter how long you're with us, we always want you to feel like you got more out of this company than you put into it. And so that was something that I feel like that we were missing. And so we went in search of that. And Tyler talked about the introduction of Randy and Val at our convention this past weekend in Las Vegas. And one of the individuals that's part of our organization is a gentleman by the name of Joe Melling. He's an amazing leader. He's a great friend and mentor of mine, somebody that I've looked up to for many years. Had the privilege of working with Randy and Val in the past, and was talking about a systematic approach. And so he brought up Randy and Val's name several times, and we'd had conversations about the system and how we could implement something like that here. And then in June of this year, we had the ability, we've always said as a company that we would be in 3 categories: personalized nutrition, personalized beauty, and personal development. Those will be our 3 product categories that we'll always play in, and that those will be our tools or offering that we'll be able to have for you to grow your businesses. And so this past summer in June, we had the opportunity to acquire the JAMBERRY beauty brand. And in that acquisition, we acquired a big portion of their employees. And one of those was a lovely lady who I absolutely love. She runs all of our events all over the world and helps with recognition and marketing. Her name is Emily Klingensmith. And we were in Australia doing an event. And she said, you know, I really love my mom and dad to come be a part of this company because of all of the amazing things that we're doing. But they can't leave their amazing friends and support system that they have at Avisae and a guy by the name of Brooks Yates. And I was like, hey, I know that name. I followed that name in the industry a little bit. So I started inquiring and looking at some things. And so I actually had my assistant reach out to Brooks and say, hey, would you be open just to go have lunch? Because I believe that we're greater when we can take talents, just like that Good to Great book. That is my business Bible. I absolutely love Jim Collins and the Good to Great book. So I'm glad that you referenced that. But I do believe that if you get the right people on the bus in the right seats and you start doing the right things over and over again, the flywheel concept in that book, doing those right things over and over again, you can build momentum and there's nothing that can stop you. So I had my assistant reach out to Brooks, and he reluctantly took the thing because obviously I knew him. He didn't necessarily know me. And so we went to lunch and I sat down with them and I started to paint this picture of the things that Avisae had that we didn't necessarily have, and the things that we had that Avisae didn't necessarily have, and how we could come together in a partnership to truly create something special. And I'll gotta tell you, Brooks's first reaction was, you know what, we've got such a great thing here. I don't want to mess anything up. We've got great momentum. We've got great leaders. We've got great products. We've got great things going. I don't necessarily know that this is the right thing. And so I said, well, don't take my word for it. Let me get you in touch with Dave Wentz, who's our chairman of the board that Tyler talked about as well. And just to, you know, Tyler did a great job talking about Dave. Dave was a Forbes magazine most powerful CEO under 40 earner. He is a New York Times bestselling author, one of the founders of a company called USANA. They're between 1.1, 1.2 billion dollars consistently. They've had 40 years out of 26 years of year-over-year growth. And you know, he retired, and he's a friend and mentor of mine that I've used and worked with in the past. And he's definitely been a special advisor for me over the years and doing different things. And I've just been begging him to come out of retirement to create something bigger and better than anything that's been out there. And our goal, and I'll tell you this from the beginning, our goal is not to create a billion-dollar brand. That is not our goal, because you're sitting there, whether you're in California, or you're in Ohio, or wherever you're at, anywhere in the world, you're sitting there thinking to yourself, what does $1 billion brand truly mean to me? Yes, it's fun to be a part of that, but how amazing will it be when we can talk about that we've created over 1 million families every single month earning $1,000 or more through our pay plan? Do you know last year there was a statistic that came out that said over 90% of Americans could not afford a $400 emergency without the use of a credit card? Just $400. And we collectively have the ability to help these families out of debt, give them hope, give them belief, give them a future, give them something to focus on. They're not focused on becoming a millionaire. They're focused on becoming a family that can provide security, hope, belief, giving the people the opportunity to have something to work towards to make them better. And so the other aspect of that was that we want 3 generations of leaders. One of the things that I love, and I'm not afraid to talk about other companies, the thing I always loved about Amway and something that I've always wanted to create was, you know, the DeBose brothers would always talk about that they created more millionaires than anybody else, not necessarily through their pay plan, but through their personal development and by people being around people like the Libbys and Randy and Val Haugen and the Smiths and the amazing leaders that are here with Avisae, that they were better fathers, mothers, CEOs, teachers, janitors. They were better people because they were able to plug into a system. Now, let's talk about BENE YOU and what this means for you. And let's talk about the future that we get to create together. And I truly hope, it's my hope and prayer tonight, that as you listen to this call, that it's not a sales pitch of why you should be a part of BENE YOU and continue doing what you're doing with Avisae, because nothing's changing on that aspect of things, but that this collectively, how we're coming together and how we're going to be able to build this. It's my hope and prayer that it's not that I'm a part of Avisae or BENE YOU, but that by the time we finish talking on this call tonight, that each and every one of you feel as though that we're partners, that this company is as much your company as it is mine, as it is Dave's, as it is Brooks, as it is Randy and Val's, as it is the Libby's, as it is the Smiths. I hope and pray that each and every one of you feel like this is your company. And so I want 3 generations of leaders walking across our stage, because every one of you, for showing up tonight and all of the stuff that you've been able to do currently with your company, each and every one of you are leaders. And each and every one of you have earned the right to walk across the stage. But imagine for a moment having the ability to reach into a family and create a true legacy where you can help future generations, not just that one individual, but you can help their children and their grandchildren and their great-grandchildren enjoy the success that we get to create together, because we're partners. This is not a one-way street. This is absolutely a partnership. And sometimes in partnerships, it's never 50-50. Sometimes the company has to give 80% because where you're at, you can only give 20%. And there's going to be times when you have to give 80% because of circumstances. The company can only give 20%, but that's a true partnership. It's not ever going to be 50-50. It's going to be meeting people where they're at. If you want to walk, we'll walk with you. If you want to crawl, we'll crawl with you. If you want to run, we'll run with you. But most importantly, if you want to fly, we'll fly with you, because we're partners and we can truly make this happen. And so getting back to BENE YOU in the future and what we can do, imagine having a company where we're the no apologies company. Imagine having a company where you can create the world's largest subscription model to beauty, personal development, to nutrition, and having people subscribe from the comfort of their phone, from their home, from their computers, the ability to be able to do that. Imagine having a company where we don't have to create excuses for the price of our products, or delays in shipping, or the way that our products are packaged, or the way that customer service handles you. We are going to be the world's largest non-excuse company and non-apology company, because we're always going to put our best foot forward. And with our partnership, what we're going to do is we're going to create an opportunity where each of us can be proud to represent and to share with our customers, with our teams, with our future prospects, and never have to worry, never have to apologize for the experience that they're going to be able to have. So take a world-class nutritional product lines and put them together, and the focus, you know, Dave sits on several boards of, you know, maybe I shouldn't go down this path because I don't want to distract you guys a little bit, but Dave's currently sitting on a board with a company where they're working on a technology where they've already developed it, where it's a patch that you can put on your skin, that you never have to prick to get a blood sample for blood sugar levels for diabetes. And they're working on being able to take that patch to the next level where they can actually have that patch receive data and send it to your mobile device and tell you your nutritional needs. Like, these are the things that we're going, like, this is down the road in the future, but just think about being able to personalize nutrition to each individual. And the word BENE YOU is a Latin word. BENE is a Latin word is well, to benefit, to improve upon, to make better. And so that's our focus as a company, is to create a better you, to create a better life, to create a better focus on our hopes and our dreams and our passions. And so nutrition, being able to customize our nutrition to the individual's needs to help improve them, not a one size fits all. Beauty, you know, some of you might be thinking, I don't want to participate in nails. I don't want to participate in some of the beauty products because I'm not used to that. But it's just another tool that's in your arsenal. One of the things that I learned very early on in my career is products don't move people, people move products. And if we can improve the people using the system, then we can move products and we can create incomes and we can create legacies because we're focused on improving the individuals. So personalized beauty, personalized nutrition, personal development. You know, you guys have been so fortunate and so lucky because of the amazing leaders that you get to work with. They put a focus on personal development. You know, it's amazing how many people have never even heard of Good to Great. It's amazing how many people have never spent 10 minutes in trying to improve themselves from a personal development aspect and pouring into their cup and doing those things. So our focus is, and partnering with Avisae is, and Randy and Val and all of the amazing leaders that are on this call, is to develop a systematic approach that if you're in Sydney, Australia, you're in Tokyo, Japan, you're in Frankfurt, Germany, or you're in me tonight in Orangeville, Utah, no matter where you're at in the world, you have the ability to plug into a system to be able to pour into your soul and to improve your life from a personal development, from a nutrition, from a beauty aspect. Now, all of you guys are good looking, so I'm not saying that any one of you needs improvement in that area. However, it's amazing. One of the things Tyler talked about, the JAMBERRY folks, and some of the things, you know, when we acquired that brand, we had a little over 15,000 active associates, and we had a little over 42,000 preferred customers. A preferred customer is somebody that's placing a $25 order or more in the last 2 months. And I've had the privilege now of traveling over the last couple of months, and you'd be surprised how many people on an outward appearance are great, on an inward appearance and their self-reflection don't value themselves the way that they should. They don't feel like that. And that's something that with our beauty brands and what we want to do is we want to help improve people's their self-image and help them from a morale aspect and giving them the self-confidence that they deserve. And I truly believe every one of us was born with the seeds of greatness. Every one of us. We just need the ability to plant that. You guys at Avisae had something that's special and still have something special. But imagine now having the ability to today be open in 16 countries around the world, having the economies of scale that we can work with and help you guys get your amazing Love Your Gut products and some of those things. Like I noticed that, you know, Tyler was drinking a torch. Greg was talking about drinking a torch. imagine having the economies of scale to be able to make those products cost efficient so that we can actually put them in the marketplace and give you guys a competitive advantage rather than being behind the 8 ball. Imagine being surrounded with a support team that's in these 16 countries around the world, from marketing, design, manufacturing. We have we're partnered with a manufacturing facility out of Phoenix, Arizona, that's a little over 1 million square foot manufacturing facility. We're moving into our new office building this next week. That's just shy of 50,000 square feet, where we'll have all of our warehousing and distribution and marketing and IT and all of that infrastructure underneath one house. So Love Your Gut products, the amazing Avisae products, the system, the amazing leaders. Let me just spend a little bit of time talking about Brooks Yates. I've followed Brooks' career. You know, it's very rare that somebody can come from the retail sector and come into the direct selling world and truly have success, because a lot of times they don't get it. One of the things I love about Brooks Yates, and the reason why I'm so grateful to have him as a partner, is he gets it. He understands not just the way to simplify and make it easy for a customer to buy and for knowledge and experience to be able to get out there from an IT and infrastructure and finance perspective, but he gets the relationship aspect of it. And that's very rare. You know, I spent a little bit of my time at a company that I know that you've all heard of, because you've got way too many Tupperware lids and not enough bowls to be able to fit them, right? Like, there's an old saying that says that your socks go into the washer and the pair always comes out missing one, and it shows up in the form of a Tupperware lid that's missing a bowl, right? So I spent a little bit of time at Tupperware, traveling around the world with their CEO, Rick Goins, and being able to see what they've been able to do. $3.6 billion selling a plastic product that has a lifetime warranty. Imagine that one. and it's crazy of what they're able to do, but they focus on the relationships. And that's one of the things that I'm very, very grateful for with bringing Brooks on and leading our IT and leading our finance aspect of things, is he's going to be not only driving those things, but he's also going to be helping foster and create those relationships. Now, I know I've talked for a really long time, so I apologize for this. So I'm going to go into a little bit more of the BENE YOU side of things. With BENE YOU, and this is going to be, there's going to be 2 mind shifts for you guys. And this is something that we'll work with you guys, and we'll communicate, and we'll give you the tools to do this. The first mind shift is something that I talked about in the very beginning, and that is that we have to shift our mind just a little bit to understand that you're not a part of BENE YOU, Avisae, M Global, JAMBERRY, but this is your company now. Your voice is so important to us. We want you to come here and put your DNA into this company. We're not looking for customers to come in and just buy products and be here today and gone tomorrow. We're looking for people to come and put your DNA into this company and truly make it your own and create a home, create a legacy where we can have those 3 generations. The second mind shift is going to be when I was talking about I feel like some of the direct sales model has got to, in order for somebody to win, somebody has to lose, right? Well, what we've done is we've created 8 different sales channels that creates an opportunity to meet people wherever they're at. Every individual has a certain skill set, certain passion, certain drive, certain vision, certain dreams, right? Everybody is uniquely different. In fact, it's 1 in 64 millionths of a chance that you're even on this call tonight, because, and I love science, and I love what God has created and how amazing it is. But every one of us is uniquely different. There's no 2 completely identical individuals, even identical twins, do not share the same dreams and the same, all of those different things, right? There's characteristics and all of those things that are completely different. And so with that being said, we've created 8 sales channels that meet you where you're at. Obviously, direct sales channel is a great channel. So if you're somebody that wants to come in and build a team and structure and do some things, you're going to be successful here. We've got a party aspect of our business where, and I know that some of you are like, I don't want to host a party, I don't want to do some things, but there's a lot of different parties that you can do through social media, online, in somebody's living room. There's hostess rewards, there's customer referral programs, there's different things from that perspective. So we have a party aspect. We also have, and we'll be introducing this and rolling this out to everyone, we also have a retail aspect. And let me explain this one, because this one is a different concept. So all of our products are retail ready, meaning that you have the ability to retail them. Now, sometimes that's really scary when they start talking about it in the direct selling world, but here's how we've done it. In order to become a retailer, you have to sign a different agreement that says that you'll never sell the products for less than retail. And we enforce that because we always protect that. But we have 3 price points. We have a retail price point, we have a wholesale price point, and then we have a bulk discount. So imagine walking into a gym, a chiropractor, a salon, a mom and pop pharmacy, a food pharmacy, and walking in there and being able to show those individuals how they can increase their profitability per square footage without ever having to pitch them on the business or sell them the plan. They can show them with the bulk buying discount that they can get up to 60% profit on the front end, but then they also have the ability to get to that keystone pricing, which is absolutely important. So we have retail, we have trade shows and events, we have fundraisers, we have customer programs, we have social media, we have online sales, we have 8 different selling channels that we can meet somebody where they're at and help them still be successful without, if they can't recruit, right? Like, or maybe they can't sell, or, there's all different things. It's not that people can't. Sometimes it's just that people, sometimes people, John Maxwell always says it best. He says, if you focus on your weaknesses, they'll always be your weaknesses. And yes, you can improve them, but God gave you those strengths for a reason. If you focus on those strengths, you can actually create the life that you've always wanted and the life that you deserve by focusing on those strengths. And that's what these 8 different sales channels helps us do as an organization, as a company, is it creates an opportunity for us to help each individual, no matter what your economic background is, or your economical status, your education level, your experience, or where you live at in the world. We can take any individual and help them find success based on their strengths, their talents, their passions, their hopes, their dreams, and their relationships. And that's something that, I can speak forever about that, because I get so excited about what that means, because there's no other organization in the world, I believe, that has what we are putting together, you and me and Brooks and Randy and Val and Libby Brothers and Smiths and all of the amazing people that we have coming together. I don't believe that there's anything like this or will be like this. And I truly believe that after 120 years, this industry has to change. And if you follow trends, if you follow this industry, every 7 to 10 years, there's a company, there's an organization that comes around that truly changes this industry. And I believe that BENE YOU, with all of the partnerships and all of the things that are coming together, that we're the tip of the sword of change that this industry not only needs, but deserves. And I could not be more proud and more honored to be partnered with the amazing individuals that your leadership and your talents and your skill sets coming together, and the resources that we as a company can provide for you. We are going to create legacies. I get goosebumps talking about it. The Tyler in the introduction was talking about that nothing happens by chance. Everything happens for a reason. And I truly believe that everything happens for a reason. And I believe that these companies coming together at this time, in this moment, and these things that are happening, that we will not only go out and create legacies, not only go out and create hope, but most importantly, we're going to create a future for us and future generations to come. And again, I am so humbled and honored to be partnered with each and every one of you. And I hope that, you know, these words, and they are words, they're absolutely words right now. One of my mentors always said that when the tongue in your mouth matches the tongue in your shoes, meaning that words are cheap, action does things. That's what we're going to do. And I know that trust is earned. It's not given. I know that reputations are built upon character and integrity. And that's something that again, your reputations precede each and every one of you. And I could not be more proud and more honored to be able to do that. So Tyler or Greg, I really appreciate the opportunity. I don't know if you want to open this up for Q&A, or if I covered everything that you hoped I would. If there's something I missed, please don't hesitate to ask. But I am so proud and honored to be with each and every one of you. And I promise you that they're day, night, weekends. This is not a job for us. This is a lifestyle that we're all fighting to go out and create, because we truly believe that everyone deserves a better lifestyle. We truly believe that everyone deserves a better you. And that's what we're focused on. And that's what the system's going to do. That's what the products are going to do. That's what all of the talent that's coming to the table is going to do. So I could not be more proud and honored. So Greg and Tyler, I don't know if you guys, if I missed anything, you'd like me to cover anything, but thank you again for this incredible opportunity. I am truly humbled to be here in your presence and to be partnered with each and every one of you.
Hey, Ryan, thank you so much. I have to say, from every expectation that I know I personally had for your talk, you exceeded it. And I would say that I don't know that we have any questions at this point that we want to go into a Q&A, unless Tyler would like to do that. I doubt it, but I'm just asking. But if you'd like to, Tyler, unmute and ask a couple questions if you'd like to.
No, I think I'm all set. Ryan, I'll tell you, that was impressive. We have a lot of people on here that have, just don't know you. And my biggest concern was I wanted them to see your heart and your vision of where we're going. And I think you did that. We have a lineup of speakers coming to back you. You're welcome to watch some of them, if you will. There's some really some characters on here. But thank you very, very much for interrupting your day from Utah and coming in and joining us. God bless.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. And I really appreciate it. God bless each and every one of you. And I can't wait to meet you guys in person. And I can't wait to go out and build the legacies that we all know that we can do together. So thank you.
You're not going to want to do that right now.
Thank you, Ryan. Well, everyone, I have a distinct privilege of being able to introduce the most beautiful woman in the world. I've known her for a very long time, and I'm very aware of the fact that she is the most beautiful woman in the world. And so she's got a great little talk she's going to give to you, because it comes from her heart and it comes from her belief. So no further ado, my beautiful wife, Beth Smith.
Hey, guys. So Ryan, that was amazing. And apparently I'm a character. And so you're going to be able to hear this character talking. I have, oh, you can't see me?
Not when the light shines.
Oh, I'm trying to shine it on my notes. Okay. Guess we're not going to have any notes. So basically, what?
It's because you're glowing and you're so bright.
Apparently. We're not going to worry about it. I'll just turn off my light. All right. So I just want you guys to know, what?
Your notes.
Am I messing up everything?
No, your notes were covering up the camera, sweetie.
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So I want to start talking about just a dog race, because when you see greyhounds running a race, you don't know what they're chasing, but what they're chasing is a mechanical lure. It's a rabbit, and it goes around the race, and or it goes around the tracks, and the greyhounds chase it, and that's what motivates them. That's their why. And so if you're wondering, if you're on the team and you're wondering, why are the leaders continuing to run? Why are the leaders continuing to be excited? And the truth is, we see this rabbit running around. We see something that you might not see. And we just continue to run because we understand that when you're dealing with success, there is a predictable sequence of events on your way to success. And if there's no such thing as the dream and the victory, there's always a struggle in the middle. And so anyone who's willing to run the race with us, we welcome you. And so, needs to, Galaxy J3, please mute yourself. Alrighty, so just warning you ahead of time, there will be people that you know on your team. There will be people that choose to sit on the sidelines when they're watching that race. And like Greg likes to say, people who choose not to race with us, they have to justify the reason that they're choosing not to come along. And that's okay, because years from now, when this company is maybe even $1 billion company, you will be happy that you saw the vision and then you came with us. So your boss leadership, man, we have been working so close with Brooks, Brent, Chanel for 6 months, just weekly, working things out, making this business better, working on the relationships, making sure we're on the same page, tweaking everything, plan, do, check and adjusting. And I can't express to you enough how what has happened, these new things that are coming to fruition are by design. So we're pretty excited, and not only are we getting what we want, but we're being catapulted. So Avisae would have gotten where we wanted to go, but maybe not as fast. With these additional things that we have, we're literally being launched into the future. So our number one goal is to create a business that people can get excited about. Create a business where it's a vehicle that anyone can make their dreams come true. Create a business where we're so excited and our belief is so high that all we want to do is share this opportunity. And I felt like this ever since we've been in Vegas. I've been talking to everybody I come across because my belief is so high, because I know that with the different elements that are coming together, anyone can make their dreams come true. But I have to tell you, when we first heard about this, when Brooks and Brent and Ryan first proposed this to us, I mean, Greg just said to me, he's like, I feel like I'm being sold on this. Why are they, I just, why do they have to sell me on it? And I said, just hold on, just listen. And then after all that, I said to Greg, I said, I feel like I'm in a arranged marriage. Like, I don't know this guy. And they're practically asking us to sleep with him. I'm just being honest. That's how I felt. And the truth is, this business to me, it's very intimate. This business is my purpose in life. This business is the vehicle that I'm using, that Greg and I are choosing to involve our family and involve our friends. And it is an intimate thing. It is very special. And our Avisae family is a family. And to ask to be partnered with somebody we don't even know was scary. But we went out to Las Vegas. Well, first of all, Tyler, John Sims, and Randy Haugen were all on board. And Greg and I just said, you know what? They know more about the industry than we do. They've made more in this industry than we have. They know more about what's happening than we know, and we trust them. So if we trust them and they're excited and they believe this is the very best place that Avisae needs to go, then we trust them, but we will go to Vegas cautiously with cautious expectations. How about that? So we went, and this is what we saw. You just saw Ryan, and man, he is a man of vision. He grew up in this industry. I grew up in this industry. I've been in this industry since 1974. This is in my blood. This is in his blood. You don't understand what it does to a person to be in this industry from a young age. It changes you for life, and that is the type of CEO that we need. I believe 100% that Ryan calling Brooks is as much of a providential event as it was when Brooks and Randy and Brent and the other guys got together 6 years ago. I believe that that's how providential this situation is. Ryan's vision for BENE YOU, having 1 million thousandaires, Greg and I have been talking for 6 months saying, we need a vision that we can believe in. We need a vision that our team can get behind. We need a vision that isn't ridiculous. I can't get behind something I don't believe in, but I can believe in 1 million thousandaires. I can believe in that, and I do believe in that. The vision of having 3 generations crossing the stage at once, boy, that hits my heart deep. My parents are 83 and 79, and they are the ones who got us involved in this industry. They are enrolled in Avisae. My 2 oldest boys are in this. We've got 3 generations already, and that is powerful. The fact that Ryan gets Randy Haugen, the fact that he's admired him from afar, the fact that he feels the way about the system that he does, I hope you saw that come across in his face, because it's very, very, very important. Dave Wentz, this guy, I've been told that, you know, anyone who's 24 years old that can take a business to a billion in a very short period of time, he's like the Randy Haugen of corporate out in Utah. Like, his reputation's unbelievable. Ryan said it. In January of 2009, he was named one of the most powerful CEOs under 40 by Forbes. He's our guy. He's part of our company. He's part of our team. That's pretty awesome. And we love and respect Brooks Yates more than ever. The past 6 months, we've come closer. We've become a family. He's understands everything that we've been trying to explain to him for the past 5 years. And the bottom line is this: he is a rock star when it comes to IT and finance, an absolute rock star. He's already been a rock star in this new BENE YOU company. And he's an incredible asset for this conglomeration. And we're so proud of Brooks, and we're so thrilled about what he's bringing to the table. And we're just excited about that. So what does this new partnership mean to you? What does it do for you? Everything that needs to be handled by corporate on a corporate level is now taken care of first class. First class. You and I are now free to go present the opportunity, enroll hungry people, let them grow, help them make money, change their lives. And isn't that what we've been waiting for? Everything that needs to be taken care of is taken care of. Now we can do what we know we need to do. So I met a gal out in Vegas. Her name's Lisa. And in the previous business, when JAMBERRY was up and running before they were part of M Global, her business in 7 years did $180 million with a less than $15 product. Let that sink in. Pretty incredible. But what's more incredible is these new lacquer strips that were pre-launched with JAMBERRY that we're going to have access to. They're so unbelievably classy. They sold out, I believe, in 28 minutes, sold $250,000 worth of a $12.99 product. So Lisa had somebody in her organization that's now with a new company called Color Street, and they have the lacquer strips. And her first year of business, she did $10 million. So just so you know, there is a need in the market for this very reasonably priced way to go to the salon and look wonderful. Don't you see my beautiful nails? Woo! Anyway, kind of exciting. I also met a guy named Dennis, who he owns a bunch of tanning salons, and he does the retail sticks, the M sticks, creates a tremendous amount of volume. People do fundraisers, people do all sorts of things. But this is the thing. You like Ryan said, you can do whatever you want. There's just now more options, and so there's more of the population that we will attract to what we're doing. I'm all excited about the healthy competition that these new companies are bringing in. You know what? Just recently in Powell, Ohio, and Aldi opened up 2 days ago. But guess what? The Giant Eagles and Walmarts and Kroger's have been doing for 3 months, getting their act together because they don't want to lose all their business. Well, now that these 3 companies are coming together under one roof, I promise you that the M leaders and the JAM leaders are absolutely fired up, running, hit the ground. They already have people on their teams making $10, $20, $30, $40,000 a month. And so the Avisae leaders, stop thinking. If you're not a leader, all you need is one person following you, and that makes you a leader. You're no longer just taking a walk. So just choose to be a leader. We need more leaders. I'm talking to those of you who don't consider yourself a leader. Plug into the BOSS system, get some people following you, and make this thing happen. So one more thing I want to share, and it's kind of crazy, but this is just how I roll. One of the things that this whole thing reminds me of is there's a story of Abraham in the Bible. I know that's crazy. But Abraham was given a promise. And when he was given that promise, the promise was that he would have generations that outnumbered the sand of the sea. And at the time, he didn't even have an heir. And he was 75 years old. His wife was a little bit younger. 24 years later, when he was 99 and she was 90 or 90, they finally have a son. It's a very long process. That promise is fulfilled through the son named Isaac. Well, then Isaac is a little bit older. God asks Abraham to take that son and sacrifice him. Once again, having faith and giving up something that's part of that promise. I don't know if this is making sense to you, but it makes sense in my brain. So Abraham sacrificed something that was so important to him that Isaac, if he was the only heir and he was asked to sacrifice his son, and that son was killed, then there was no longer an heir. So God provided another sacrifice, and history is there, and Abraham's descendants outnumber the sand on the seashores. So how does that relate to what we're doing? Why am I bringing up a story of faith? Well, I believe that where we are today, it's easy to look at Abraham's story and the 24 years that he had to wait for his promise to be fulfilled. It's easy to say, Isaac, don't worry about it. God's going to provide a lamb. You don't have to actually sacrifice Isaac. It's easy to look at those stories of faith and see God looked at Abraham as righteous because of his faith. And I'm just asking you to have faith in what we're doing, because your story hasn't been written yet. You can't look back at your story and read it and say, oh man, everything works out. But the truth is, the process of success, it's a predictable sequence of events, and there's always a dream, there's always a struggle, and there's always a victory. And so I believe that if you have in your heart that if you believe that God has big plans for you, then he does. Does that make sense? If you have in your heart that God has big, big plans for you, then he does. And if this is the vehicle for you to get those plans done, then so be it. Come join us. We're going to have a blast. We've been given a vision for touching people in faith, in wealth, and in health. I've believed that with all my heart for all my life. And I believe that BENE YOU is how we're going to get there. We're going to follow our leaders. We're going to follow Randy and Val. We're going to follow Jan and Raylene. We're going to follow Tyler and Debbie. We're going to follow Gary and Libby, Gary and Judy, and we're going to follow Rob and Stephanie. And we are absolutely positively going to take this to where it can go, because now is the time. That's all I got. Have a great day.
Okay, I'm back. So I am really excited because we've heard a lot of really good information. When I was out in Vegas, I know Jerry's experienced this, but when I was out in Vegas, Jan Hayball was my personal chauffeur. Yeah, he drove the car. So, but it was great. Got picked up at the airport, driven all over Vegas. I mean, it was awesome. But I got to know them better. But here's one thing I witnessed. We went to Vegas, heard some speakers, and I have never seen a person like this in my life. He was contacting literally anything that moved. I mean, I was watching people in Starbucks like, who is this guy? Everyone we came in contact, he contacted. But he did a great job. I mean, a great job. So tonight he's going to share a little bit of his secrets as the nail expert, is what he would refer to himself as. So Jan, I hope you're there. You can hear us, but we're anxious to hear your teaching and explain to us how we can expand our business with your incredible advice. Take it away, Jan.
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, first off, contacting is an attitude. And boy, is my attitude good after listening to Ryan and Bess. If anybody doesn't see themselves at a home where you can do just about anything, I think after listening to Ryan, just about everything is covered here as far as, everybody's, like he says, their strength, and it doesn't matter, what personality or anything. Everybody can do this. what I'm going to talk about is probably one of my big weaknesses when I came into the business. And I like what Ryan said. I focused on my strength for a long time, and my weakness becomes stronger. And I hope that makes sense to you, because I'm going to talk about cold contacting. And if you're going to build this thing big without even a question, you are probably going to exhaust your names list. And I don't want to be negative. I might say some things that might appear to be negative, but they're little obstacles that we're going to go over. And the thing of it is when you make a list, first thing you're going to do is you're going to, you know, put your friends and family and people like that. And hopefully you're going to exhaust that list somewhere along the line. You know, you might get a few in, you might be like me. I put one friend in and no family when I first started. So my list got exhausted pretty early in the business. And I become, you know how you go back to your family and you appear to be maybe a little desperate? That was probably me, because I wasn't willing to take that jump over to go talk to people. You're looking at a construction guy. The only thing, you know, I had to learn the English language again, because my language wasn't that good. So I had to, you know, quit speaking French and start speaking English, and learn how to read books like How to Win Friends and Influence People and stuff like that, where I could become relatable. And if you're going to learn to contact, if you will learn to contact, the world is your oyster. You can go, you can be the next Randy Haugen, you can be the next Ryan Adams, you can be the next whoever you want to be. You could be the Tyler Libby, because once you're willing to go talk to people, it will become more comfortable and more comfortable to where you don't even think about it. And that's what I want to talk about more than anything, is how do you do that? Okay. Be willing to grow, number one. Listen to audios. And you think, well, what's that got to do with contacting? Everything. It's got to do with personal development for all of us. And that's what I like what Ryan said too. That's one of the reasons they seeked out Avisae, is to get that personal growth system, BOSS, because that's what gets us over all the obstacles, anything you're going to come across, not just contacting, but just life. So make a decision. I'm just going to do it. Okay. If I'm going to do it, now you've made the decision. Now you can just go ahead and go forward. Now, I want to talk about going down to Vegas, because I'm going to focus a little bit on what I seen when I was down there, and what made me decide to contact with males, to make a long story short. I love this. I am loving contacting like crazy with this nail thing. And first of all, just like Tyler said, you got to have a why. Everybody's got to have a why, no matter what you do, because that why, the dream, it's got to get you over anything that you might come up against, and just run through it. And I seen this gal on stage, and she was with JAMBERRY, I guess, and she was making like $39,000 a month. Now that's the type of money that I would like to see, okay? Because we've been free for about 30 years now. I'm the least likely guy. And when I say the least likely guy, I was really surprised that somebody ever contacted me to even get involved in something like this, because I was rugged, rough around the edges would be putting it mildly. I had a long ways to go. In fact, I told people, you know, on my last Zoom that I did, that when I met Tyler, I related to him. I connected with him. I mean, I didn't go up and make friends with him that day or anything, but he come from back east out to Utah to speak to us. And I thought, I can do this because I seen somebody like I felt. I mean, he was rugged and rough, and he was a man's man. And so you're gonna meet people like that in your support team, or just in the business general, that's going to give you hope. And one thing you all got to know for sure, I like what Beth said. If you're leading a person, you're leading somebody. If you're leading one, then it's 2, then it's 3, then it's 20, then it's 50, then it's 1,000. And you might not be able to see that now, but it will definitely come to fruition. But when I seen that gal on stage, and you know, I heard from a lot of people, and I think she said it, that, you know, $39,000 a month on nails. It blew me away. And I thought, next, I'm thinking, okay, what kind of women do this? You know, when I heard about Jamberry, I thought, well, it's probably, you know, Barbie types, or, you know, you got to fit in this certain mold. Well, that isn't true at all. Everybody in there was clear across the board from A to Z as far as gals go. That made me feel good, because I want to take the widest, you know, path through the population that's possible. I don't want to leave anybody out. And the one thing I found, it's just like what Greg was saying, I was contacting a lot of people down there, but contacting and making a close is two different things. I have to feel out a contact a little bit. And one thing I always want you to know is this here. I used a script one time. When I first started contacting, you know, I got a hold of this script, and it says, if you say this, they'll say that, and then you say this, and they'll respond to you in a certain way. That never happened. I did everything that script said to say, and long story short, I remember myself being in the mall, and I was frozen because the person didn't say what they were supposed to say. And I was like, uh-oh, what do I do? Well, I went home and like, oh, I don't know if I could do this thing, you know, and I sort of cried in my soup and stuff like that. I thought, God, you know, maybe this isn't for me. And I'm not the only one that does that. There is a lot of you that do that same thing. Quit it. Because this is too simple. And that's what I want to get across to you more than any one thing, is the simplicity of meeting new people, meeting a stranger, and being able to set up an appointment and go show them what we're doing. So I'm probably going to go over that more than anything. Let's see. You're never on the spot until you ask for somebody's name and number. So you can play with the contact, see if it works. And when I was down in Vegas, we were in a restaurant, a casino, and this gal came over, and I noticed that her nails were really nice. And I thought, wow, here's an opportunity. So I said, wow, I really noticed your nails. They're awesome. I says, where do you get them done at? And she, you know what? Listen, she almost forgot about being a waitress for about a half a minute and went into telling me where she got her nails done. And she was excited about her nails. And I thought, bam. What a simple way. I want to recruit people. They can see the big picture when they get in. In fact, they're going to see the big picture when I sit down and show them the opportunity. But the bottom line is, how do you set up that initial appointment? How do you make a friend? How do you get somebody that has an interest in themselves? And then you can take that and book a meeting and show them what we're doing, and they can make a living doing that. That's what I like. And I want something that's so duplicatable that not only Jan can do it, but everybody can do it. We did a little thing last night, contacting, inviting Bill for one of our groups, because I told him I've never witnessed the simplicity of what we're doing now. And I like the nails. I'm going to take the nail route. I'm going to give you a couple other contacts and stuff like that of what we do. But I like what Beth said. Everything is plan, do, check, and adjust. Plan something, then do it. And if it isn't like working for you, just adjust it one way or the other a little bit until you're fine-tuned with it, and then stick with that. You don't have to, you know, get all diversified on different contacts and stuff like that. In fact, I'm going to go over a couple here and show you the simplicity of what I do. Okay. The other day, now after, you know, complimenting a lot of gals on their nails and stuff, Raylene and I were out running some errands. We went over to Beans and Brews, sort of like the Starbucks. And there's this gal there that, you know, come waited on us and stuff. And she had purple nails. Now, they were nice, but they weren't my color, I guess. I don't know. I guess they were good for a millennial. But the bottom line is I compliment her on it. I says, wow, those are nice nails. Look like you take good care of your nails. I said, where do you get them done at? And she told me, and I says, do you do different ones and stuff like that? And she says, yeah. And I says, this might sound crazy, but you know what? I've been retired for a while. And I says, we just went down to Las Vegas and I went to a nail convention. And at that convention, I seen this gal that had made she was making $39,000 a month. And I thought, I had no idea there was that type of money in the nail business. And I thought, you know what? I'm in. I'm going to go in the nail business. And she says, really? And I says, yeah. And I says, you know what? I'm going to be looking for some associates. Would you be interested? And she says, yes, I am definitely interested. And anyway, there was a guy that come up behind me. So, you know, I says, well, we're going to be sitting over here. Come over and see us and talk to us when you get a chance. And she waited on the next guy, and she ran over to our table, and she says, I am definitely interested. Second time she said that. Wrote down her name and number on our sales slip that we had, and now we're going to contact her and show her the presentation. And I'm going to show her the whole presentation of the variety. I says, you know, what I showed you was just a little portion. We have a huge opportunity here. So anyway, make a long story short, that's how I contacted her. I'm going to contact a ton of people like that. And okay, let me get through that. And I got to tell you my notes because I wrote this down because I got some specific contacts here. We got this favorite restaurant called Neater's. And we were in Neater's about a week and a half ago. And we're sitting there eating our salads because we're sort of on a diet, clean and lean. And this guy at this table next to me looked at me like 10 times. I started like, what the heck? Finally, he got up and he came over and he says, do I look familiar to you? And I thought, oh, this is good. Here's a contact. And I said, you know, and he did. He sort of looked familiar. I mean, we only see 1 million people, so there's a lot of faces that look the same. But anyway, I said, you look familiar, but I can't place you. Anyway, we got in a little conversation and stuff, and he'd retired from the railroad, and now he's a contractor building tiny homes. You've probably seen that on TV and stuff. How can you live in a 10 by 10 cubicle? But anyway, that's what he did, is build tiny homes. And I want you to hear this. This is what I asked him at the end of our conversation. I says, hey, are you open to other things? And he says, yeah. I says, hey, why don't you write your name and number down here, and I'm going to get back a hold of you here next week, and we'll get together. I got something I think you'll like. He said, oh, okay, and we left. Okay, now here's a guy. This is a little while ago. I was in McDonald's, and I was getting my morning coffee, and I was getting 2 scrambled eggs, because I got to eat the protein and stuff instead of the carb. And there was this guy that was waiting for his order, and they'd messed it up, so they had to go back and fix it. And I noticed him pacing a little bit and stuff, and I was standing right next to him while I was pacing back and forth. I said, they messed your order up, huh? And he says, yeah, but no, they're going to fix it. I've just got a crew waiting for me out there. And I said, well, what do you do? And he says, oh, I'm in the tree trimming business. I've been doing it for over 30 years. I says, really? And this guy was really sharp. I mean, he was, slim and trim, looked like he'd worked out, and he was well groomed for somebody that was going to go out and trim trees. And so basically I says, hey, are you open to other things? Is that going to be your career forever, doing trees, or are you open to other stuff? And he says, no, I'm always open. And I said, good, why don't you write your name and number down, and I'll give you a call here in a few days. And he says, oh, okay. You guys, it's so simplistic to do stuff if you'll just do it. And remember, see, you can have a conversation with somebody, and you can come right up to the edge of contact them, and you're never on the spot like I was when I used the script that time. Now, a script might work for you. That might be your cup of tea, but it didn't work for me. I have to be a little more simplistic than that. And the majority of the people that I put in this business, remember now, when I first got in, I didn't sponsor anybody in my family. Nobody. And I had one friend that got in. Now, if you will learn to cold contact, a bunch of my family got in down the road because they seen I was serious about it, because, you know, they told me, oh, you aren't going to do this. You should stick to construction. And you're no salesman. I mean, you know what I mean? Same thing probably a lot of you guys get. And now today, it's right at 30 years we haven't had a job. Construction work, I never could have done this with, you know, construction. Anyway, I like what Tyler says. Tyler has this thing, he says, you know, put like 5 pennies in your pocket. And as you talk to somebody, if you got those 5 pennies, just take one out of one pocket and put it in the other pocket. And every day, contact 5 people. And when you're done, when you got those pennies, exchange from one pocket to the other. Now, I'm going to give you just a couple of one-liners. And I use these, well, it's all I use to make a long story short. But listen to this. You never have to think of what you're going to say. Remember, you can have a conversation with somebody. If they act like they're interested and they're, you know, you get along with them good and stuff like that, go ahead and say this. Do you see this as a career, or are you open to other things? That one-liner right there, you can turn into a 2-liner and say, are you open to other things? Okay? Just that. Are you making all the money you want? Simple little line. They say no, say, hey, I'll tell you what, let's get together. Now, there's another crucial little point here, because people tend to want to ask you more. Like when I call one of these people and I'm going to book a meeting with them, usually they'll say, well, could you give me more information? And I say, well, don't worry about that, Fred. I'm bringing it with me. Now, if they say something after that, I just said, you know, it's pretty hard to cut your hair on the phone. And that's the same with this. We've got to sit down eyeball to eyeball, and then I can talk to you about it. Easy, you guys. This is simple. Please don't make it hard, because I made it hard when I first started out. And believe you me, it held me back for a long time. And that's why the personal growth. That's why you need to get on Boss. If you're not on Boss, get on Boss and listen to audios constantly. Saturate your brain with them, because what goes in starts coming out. And if it wasn't for that, to build my confidence, go talk to people. When I talk to people, it's usually get your butt in here and get this sheetrock on the wall, and let's get this thing, get this house built. You know what I'm saying? And in your daily travels, usually I don't go out and go contact them on purpose. If I'm playing with, you know, a new contact that I might want to do, like the Jamberry, like the nails, you know, I'll talk to some people. Yesterday, we were in a Home Depot, and I thought I saw this gal, some sparkly on her nails, but then she bent over, and I thought, gosh, she seems to be a pretty jovial, happy gal. And Raylene wanted to know where the Christmas trees were and stuff. And so I asked her, I said, where's the Christmas trees at? She says, well, down over on aisle 13 or whatever. I got to drink some of my smart here. Give me some. Now I'm going to be smarter. I've got my smart juice. Anyhow, I thought I saw some sparkly on her nails. And I said, let me see those nails. They look good. And she pulled them up, and I was wrong. They weren't on there, man. She says, well, I try to keep them filed and stuff. But I says, I really thought, you know, just be honest. I says, I really thought I seen some sparkly on there and stuff, and they're just so well groomed, even though you don't have any polish on them. And so anyway, see, I never asked her for a phone number or anything, because I messed it up, to make a long story short. But I never had to be embarrassed. I never had to be on the spot. I never had to worry about anything, because I never put her on the spot, and, you know, to ask for her phone number and stuff, to where it's going to be like a tense moment for both of us. Because when they do have their nails done, and it's like that waitress in Las Vegas, or like that gal over to Beans and Brew, and they just almost forget about what they're doing, and like, oh, you noticed my nails. See, their brain, their mind opens up, and now it's like, oh, this is a piece of cake. All I got to say, would you be interested? And I'll tell them something like the Vegas story, or I'll just tell them I'm into nails. usually I got Raylene with me and stuff, so you know, I'm not in trouble. But don't do the steering wheel talk. And what I mean by that is when you're out and about and you're contacting people, or you didn't contact people, and your mind's just on where you're going and what you're doing, you know, that day, all of a sudden, you know, you get to your steering wheel and you're driving home or driving to work and you think, oh, boy, did I miss an opportunity to contact this person because I shoulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's too late. So just start talking to people. Have fun with this. Just have fun with it. And hey, the world's your oyster. Your contact list, you can pick that. You can't pick your relatives, but you can pick who you want to contact. And you see somebody that's really outgoing, stuff like that, go talk to them. So with that, Greg, back to you.
Well, Jan, thank you very much. And I know that in the middle of all this, I don't really, you know, my assumption sometimes is that everybody knows who you are. But, you know, Tyler, who I introduced earlier, he's a gold executive in the business. I think someone might have. Yeah, there we go. So he's a gold executive in Avisae, and Jan is part of Tyler's business, and he's a gold executive in the business. And I just want you guys to know these guys have humongous businesses. I mean, they truly do. And both of them are completely free. They mentioned that for over 30 years. So this isn't a minor thing. I mean, I think it's so fantastic that we have people like this who are pursuing the exact same business that we are, doing what we're doing and doing it with such excitement. It says a lot to me. So our next speaker, who I've gotten to know for, I don't know, a year and a half pretty closely, almost 2 years now. This individual comes to us from Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. This guy was also with us out in Vegas. It's just so cool to watch the relationship that him and Jan Hayball, who you just heard, it's so neat to watch the relationship between the two of them because they've had it for so many years. And it's just neat to listen to the stories and the things they have to share. But one of the things that we asked Rob to talk about tonight is something he is extremely good at, and that is helping someone like you and me relate to people that are already on our team who maybe just don't get this right now. Maybe they don't even know what's going on. Maybe they've listened to a little bit of it and maybe they're confused, or maybe they've been, you know, unengaged for a little while, okay? And they have no idea what's happening. And so we asked Rob if he would share a little bit with us today on how to connect and reconnect maybe with people that are on your team currently. So Rob, I hope you're there. And if you are, if you can join us, that would be great. Thank you.
Okay, great. Hey, Greg, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope everybody can hear me. Someone give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, okay, perfect. Well, great. I guess I get the opportunity to share with you a little bit how we can actually try to reignite and or certainly let the people in our organization know the direction that we're going and the changes that are happening. But before I do that, I want to really reiterate what's been already said. But I think it's so important that we understand that this partnership is going to be it's going to be the gasoline on the fire. This will be the igniter, if you will, for a huge organization. I truly believe we're going to see a dynasty be built with this because the dynamics that are involved with JAMBERRY, and we got to see it in Vegas. And for those of you that weren't in Vegas with us, I'm asking you to trust us right now because you'll see it in time. But for right now, just trust us. Have faith that what we're saying is true. Because what I saw in the different strengths and the different personalities that are coming together in this partnership, what it's going to create is it's going to create a dynamics that you just haven't seen in a while. And sometimes, you know, you see, and I know they've talked about this being providential or having a divine guidance with what we're doing. And you guys have had a chance now to listen to Ryan. You certainly know Tyler, you know Randy. It's so interesting because think about how many people that are currently with Avisae on the team that their comment was, hey, if Randy and Val are doing this, we're in. if Randy and Val are going to, if this is the direction they're going, we're going to go. Why do Randy and Val have that dynamic? And it's the reason why they have it is because the committed, dedicated, everything they've done has been about helping their organization. I've never seen Randy and Val make a decision based solely on their total benefit. Their decisions are always made on how does it benefit the whole organization. And so they are fired up about this partnership, and they probably have a deeper insight than all of us, including all of us that went to Vegas, because of the time they've spent. They've already gone through a lot of the logistics of what's going to happen with the partnership. And so I'm asking you to say for 1 second, I want you to operate the course of the next 30 to 60 days on the faith that they're right, that this partnership is maybe being divinely guided, and that it's bringing together some dynamics that we couldn't create separately. And if that's true, then here's what you need to do. The first thing you need to do is you need to say, I'm in, I'm going to learn this thing, I'm going to understand it, I'm going to do it. And with that, I want you to sit down and start to, if you draw out your circles, some of you that could take a little bit. You've got large organizations. Maybe you have a large organization of people who are currently kind of on the sideline watching. And maybe you don't have a big organization, but regardless of what you have, draw out your circles. Sit down and draw out all the different people that are down in your organization, and either put them on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be fancy. It's really a guiding system for you. But draw out all the people in your organization. And somebody that's going to take a little bit of effort, and you can certainly go in the back office and get support for that. But get all those people and get their phone numbers, get everything down as soon as you possibly can do that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take a strategic team approach to getting back with each and every one of these folks on our team, so that we make sure they understand where we're heading, what's going to happen with this. And I've always said that, you know what, I would rather take the chance of having someone reject me or have someone convince me they're going to stay on the sideline. I'm okay with that, than I would rather have them 6 months from now or 9 months from now go, hey, with all these changes, why didn't you tell us? I want to make sure that we let every single person know what's at stake and where we're heading and what this whole partnership is going to mean for all of us. And I think you've heard Jan talk about how excited about how he is and some of the other dynamics that are coming to our business. And you know what's really cool is I listened to some of the JAMBERRY leaders and some of the M GLOBAL leaders, and they talked about how excited they were for some of the dynamics that Avisae is going to bring. And isn't that the kind of relationship that creates an energy that takes you to a dynasty? And I really think we're on the road to really building and developing a dynasty with this partnership. And that's going to be, that BENE YOU is going to be unbelievable. You guys don't want to miss that. So once you get that organization drawn out, you get the phone numbers, then what I would do is I would look down through and make some notes in your organization. In other words, maybe you were involved enough at one time in the organization with these people that you know their dream. Just write a little note out to the side of your circles. Just write out what their dream was, okay? Because that's good information to have. If you don't maybe know exactly what that was, then that's okay. Don't write that down. But make sure the ones that you do know, write out that something. Why did they get in the business? Why did they join? Some people joined on your belief and your faith. If that's true, that's fine, because now they can run on some of your belief and faith about where we're headed. But figure out, and you're going to find out that there are certain people. I know that I have people in my organization that will really relate well to a certain member in my support team. Okay? They might even relate really well to someone that I'm working with personally in the group. Okay? So like someone between me and them that I'm working with that they really relate well, and I'm working with them as a team to contact them to bring them up to speed with what we're doing. Check upline, check with your support team. And I would recommend that you check with somebody who was in Vegas. Okay? If they were in Vegas, they would probably be the very, very best, because those people got a tremendous insight into the partnership and the direction that we're heading. And so what I would do is I would teamwork with your support team. So here's some ideas I want to throw out to you. One is you might check with your support team and say, hey, when could I've got this organization, I've got 8, 10 people in it, and I'm going to contact all of them to bring them up to speed or give them the opportunity to get an understanding of where we're heading and what we're doing. So before I contact those people, can I schedule with you? You were in Vegas, can I schedule with you to do a Zoom for us? Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work that whole list. I'm going to work all those people towards that Zoom call. All right? With someone who has experienced what we're experiencing with the partnership, who got a good insight as to what it is. So you schedule that Zoom call, and then your job is to contact each one of those people. And you already know probably the best way to contact them. For some of us, you know, it's going to be a direct phone call. It might be a text. It might be by email. Whatever the best way is that you communicate with these people. And then what you're going to do is you're gearing them all to that Zoom. Okay? So some of the ways that you might do that, if I called somebody up that's been on my team for a while, I might call them up and say, hey, how you doing? This is Rob. Hey, listen, we got some really exciting things that are transpiring with the business. And we wanted to make sure that you knew about it. Now, I know that you got a lot of things going on, but I also know that when we sat down and you got involved with us, your dream or the reason that you did this, I remember you told me, was because you wanted whatever. You wanted to be free. You wanted this, you wanted that. Say, well, with some of the things that are going on right now, you know what? I don't think there's ever been a better opportunity for you to be able to get that. But here's what we're going to do, because I don't want you to take my word for this. All right? I don't want you to just be able to rely on me. So we're doing a Zoom at this time on this date. Here's the join number, or if you want, I can send you a link to connect to that Zoom call. Okay? You need to know about what we're doing. And they may start to ask you some questions. Listen, let me explain to you something about when people ask questions. They ask questions because they want a reason to agree to be on that call or on that Zoom. They want a reason. They want to know more. And some of them, you may perceive those questions as being negative. But here's what I want to tell you. If you don't feel comfortable, like you really, truly know the answer to the question, that's okay. Tell them. Say, you know what? I was not involved at the beginning of the partnership, and I wasn't there, but that's what the Zoom call is, because the person I'm going to tie you into, they were there. And we can get all your questions answered. In fact, for most of these, you might even have a question answer session on the Zoom. That's what's so neat about Zoom, is it gives us that opportunity to do that. So you now have that coming up. So when they ask you a question that you don't know the answer to, or maybe you're not as familiar with, or you don't feel comfortable answering that question, then now you have a place to send them. Remember, we used to always talk about book a meeting from a meeting. So your whole point is to call to try to get them to that meeting. From that meeting, that Zoom call, then you're gonna book the next level, would be whatever level they want to participate. Maybe it's going to be rebuild their names list. Maybe it's going to be, get together with them and show them some of the new stuff that's available. Maybe it's going to be update them. One of the things that, and many of you already know this, but almost on a weekly basis, Randy's doing an open meeting. Okay? So that Zoom call may gear from them to the next Zoom call, which is an open meeting. So now you're booking a meeting from a meeting from a meeting, so that you continue to help them get a little bit more information, a little bit more information, a little bit more information. It's really, really important. All right? So try to set that Zoom call up. Now, here's what you're going to know. You're going to look, all of you right now could look at your organization, and you could say, well, this group right here would work well. It'd be okay if we tied them together. Or you might say, no, I need to keep these guys over here separate to themselves, because maybe they have a different reason for getting in the business. They won't necessarily relate over here. So, but you're the best judge of that. So get with your support team, particularly somebody that was maybe in Vegas, book those Zoom calls, and then start trying to get through and here's what's neat. Book the Zoom first. Make sure you plan it out a few days or whatever you need, so that all the people that are on the list that are coming to that Zoom, that you're going to get there, every one of them, you can make sure that you have a chance to call. All right. And here's what I know. This is I want to set some expectations in your minds. All right. So what I want to ask you is, think about this. Why did the people get in the first place? Okay. Why did they join us in Avisae? When we started getting Avisae going, whenever it was that they joined, why did they join? I want you to answer that question hypothetically in your mind. Why did they join? They joined for a lot of reasons. Number one, they believed we were going somewhere, and we were excited, so they were going to ride on our excitement. Some people actually truly believed that they were going to be able to maybe get some of their dreams, or maybe overcome some of the financial deficit that they needed, or maybe they thought that the products would really be something that they needed. All right. There's a lot of different reasons, but they got in for one of those reasons. Okay. And maybe they got in because they were riding on your belief. Well, if that's the case, why wouldn't they continue to pursue that? My expectation is they would. All I really have to do is get them to understand that things are, some dynamics are happening that are going to cause a chain of events that's going to cause a lot of people and a lot of organizations to grow and to get big. So what we're trying to do is tap into the original reason why they said they wanted to get in. Why did they get in? What made them happen? So we're trying to tap into that. And the way you do that is to work towards this meeting, whether it's a Zoom or a phone call. I've had several people, they call me up and they say, hey, would you mind talking? This person really relate to you. Would you mind talking to them? No, I don't have a problem at all. Or I have people call me. I've had several people that I've been talking to on the phone that they're asking me, hey, what would I say to this? Or what would I say to that? Now, see, I can give you some specifics of what to say or how to go about that. And your support team that was in Vegas, they can give you some specifics as well. So you have the resource at your fingertips. You have the people right now that you can contact, that you can get on to. And you know what? Here's what I would recommend. I recommend that you put an urgency and a priority in this right now. Here's why. Because what's going to happen is, as we start to grow, and you yourself as a leader, you're on this call, I'm assuming that you're planning on being a builder, okay? In one level or another. Maybe you're going to be a builder from the fundraising, or what all the different options that are going to be offered out there from a product standpoint, whatever the case may be. Maybe you're excited about the JAMBERRY. Jan seems to be pretty dang excited about the nails. And you know what? The M Global, their products, and I've been giving away all the drinks and smart drinks, and I've been hunting. I'm going to be going back out probably later tonight. Back out, we're going to be in the desert hunting, and all the guys that are out there, I've been giving them all the different sticks to drink, the hydration sticks. And so I'm pretty fired up and excited about that as well. So what I'm saying is, if you're excited, they're going to be excited. If you're excited, they're going to feed that. They're going to feel that, and they're going to want to be a part of that Zoom call, so that you get that person in your support team to do the Zoom call. And what do? They're going to lead you on to the next Zoom call, which might be an open meeting, or the next event that's going to happen that we're all going to be building in. And when they start to see the excitement and they start to see what's happening, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come off the sidelines and join us. And you know what? All you really need in that group that you have, you just need a couple of them to get excited and come back to check it out. And what's going to happen is that'll create an expectation, and everyone will start to come back. But I will tell you this, you are the key. If you're on this call, you're the key, right? And you may have 2 people in your organization, and you may have 100 in your organization. You're the key. Understand, you're here today, you're learning, you're taking notes, you're gaining understanding. You're the key. Now what you need to do is you need to reconnect these people to what's happening, to this event that's going on. Because I will tell you, this train is moving. I've never felt so much excitement. And I know the leaders that we've been working with, you know, the Libbys, and you come on down through Jan and Raylene, and Greg and Bess and Randy and Val, all the different leaders, Jay and Corby, all of them across the board, all of them in the Avisae organization, they are flat fired up. And every time we do something like this, you're going to have an exposure. Your people are going to have an exposure to those kinds of leaders that are fired up and excited. So I want you guys to know this thing is happening. Teamwork is what it's all about. So teamwork with the people that have been out to Vegas. Teamwork with them right now to set up these meetings, these Zooms, and get people exposed to this. Get them back in to understand. Get their questions answered. All right? And then you can tie them back into the next thing that's happening, and the next thing that's happening, and the next thing that's happening. And pretty soon we're going to start to feel a wave and catch the wave. All right? Catch the wave. Join us. Because I will tell you, this has never been as exciting as it is right now, but this has never been closer to the avenue to your dreams than anything you've ever been a part of. So hang on tight. We've got some tremendous, they've talked about Ryan, they talked about Dave Wentz, they've talked about all these leaders. Do you understand the power of those kinds of people connecting with Brent and Brooks, connecting with Randy and Val, and all the leadership in the Avisae organization? Do you understand the dynamics of that? Okay? Because if you do, you're going to get fired up, and you're going to try to at least give everyone in your organization currently sideline or participating at some level, whatever. You're going to give every one of them a chance to see the dynamics of what's happening and let them make the decision. All right? You don't have to. Let them. But here's what I'll tell you. You all know, as death starts to happen, it'll be now or it'll be later, but they will be with us. And they will be enjoying a run for the dreams, their dreams. All right? We love you guys. We're proud of you. And hey, everybody, just say a little prayer tonight that I get to find a really big white-tailed deer. All right? We love you guys. Back to you, Greg.
Greg, turn it back on just for a second. I don't know who's introducing. I can't.
Greg, you're muted.
Sorry, my bad. I just love technology. I really do. But I will tell you that, Rob, you did a tremendous job. Rob's another gold executive in the business underneath, in the organization of Tyler Libby. In fact, the next person I'm going to be introducing is part of that person's organization as well. But I'll tell you, I'm not sure I was going to say now that I was unmuted, but no big deal. So I'm going to introduce our next speaker. This couple comes to us from the great state of Ohio. I say that because we're going to be playing Michigan real soon, and I know that it's going to be another domination game, hopefully, for those of you that are listening in. So I'm sorry about that, but it's just the way it is. I know today was a squeaker in the beginning, but I know, things will change. But Gary and Judy, these are gold executives in the business. We didn't know Gary and Judy very well, but we've gotten to know them, and we've gotten to spend a lot of time with them. In fact, we've been able to stay at their house twice. And if you ever get to stay at their house, oh my gosh, if they say they're going to make you breakfast, they're going to make you breakfast. I mean, it's like major undertaking. I feel like I'm at Cracker Barrel times 2, I mean, salmon and just layers and layers and layers of food. I mean, it's just incredible. So anyhow, they do a tremendous job. They're lovers of people. And there isn't anything that Gary and Judy wouldn't do for you because they have truly your best interest in mind. So Gary's going to wrap it up. I know he's got some great things to share. But Gary, yes, he's the brother of Tyler Libby, who started our event off tonight. And so Gary and Judy, I know you're there. So take it away.
Well, Gary and I are up in Toledo, and we're at another Smith's house. We've got a group of people here with us. What do you guys think about a relaunch? Pretty exciting. I'm telling you, we've got a lot of acceleration going on in the business right now. And we want to thank Ryan for hopping on the call and showing us his heart. And believe me, that's just a little piece of what we saw out in Vegas. The group of people that was there just loved him, and he loved them in return. And it's really an exciting thing to see. One night we watched recognition for 2 hours as streams and streams of people went across that stage. And I mean, they cried, we cried. It was really amazing because we thought of every one of you on this call, every one of you in this room, and how things can change just like that for us. And I believe that's what's happened here. I think that we have something that is just really rare and special. And however it happened, it's really just an amazing thing. So we're really excited, and I know a lot of you got on the call tonight with a lot of questions, and I'm hoping that we answered some of that for you. We've had a while to think about it and to get to know some people, and so we're all in. And we understand that you guys are still kind of processing a little bit. So I like what Rob said, get on the phone and get on some of the Zoom calls and ask your questions, you know, because we're all in. We're excited for you guys, even when you can't be excited for yourself right now, because we just see great things ahead. Go ahead on.
Wonderful. We're here. You said at Keith and Barb's house, and it's on the big TV next to us. And somebody sent a text. What's this about nails? He hadn't heard as much as some of the others have, but he's on the call, and that's a good thing. Like Rob said, we get a chance to get with them. Night before last, we were down in Ashland, Ohio. We showed a couple, and this couple, they disappeared from the business about 10 years ago. And you know what? I got to tell you, the dream never dies. And I was so excited to know that what we have, when I first looked at this, I thought, wow, here's something, a different price point. Here's something that people could be involved in the process, that people love to go with you and all that stuff. But all of a sudden you get a different price point. And anyway, all I say was, it was amazing. Yesterday, I got a call from a Brian, actually the Brian that Randy Haugen quoted on the Open Thursday. That Brian, I think, is right down at the lodge in Columbus tonight. Anyway, he talked about how circumstances and situations happened. He was in the business running, and then he took his regular business, his contracting business, and it's exploded business-wise all over the East Coast, busier than making more money than he's ever made, and yet he heard about what's going on. And to quote him, he says, you know what? I was out there and I'm doing all this and it's working better than ever. But I wish, number one, he says, I missed the dream. Number two, I missed the people. And that's the cool thing, to have someone to run with you, someone to run, that like-minded people that believe the right things and go the right things, and they know when they do the right things change. So I say all that to say, I promise I'd never use that expression again. That's terrible. I'll never use it again. Somebody put out an audio that should have never been put out. I said that 9,000 times. Forgive me. I'll never say it again. Anyway, let me tell you about tools. Tools make things easier. And I've got a very quick one. Number one, the BOSS app. If you have the BOSS app, use it. Get on there. Every audio on there applies to what we're doing right now. We are Avisae. All the principles we're using, all the stories, everything, all the product stuff is still here. And that's going to propel us forward here. So listen to them. If you aren't subscribed, or you were subscribed but you're not on it now, reignite it. And that's a big deal. All right. Number two, Thursday opens. Rob already mentioned Randy Haugen is doing almost every Thursday. You get on your uplines, you get on Dream Builders, you get on Flip Flops or Heartland or whatever, or Arizona Connection, and you'll see the opens there. Get there, watch them with somebody. Go sit down with them one-on-one. It's amazing. As a matter of fact, this last Thursday's open is on there. Watch it again. As a matter of fact, Monday's open, or not Monday's meeting, where everybody was talking about when they just landed back, coming back from Vegas. Listen to it again. Everyone have a different perspective. And what I'm going to tell you is, get your possibilities up. Start thinking about the good thing. Number two, I said the group call, Randy's open number, what's it? Oh, the next BDS that Rob says, book a meeting from a meeting. The next meeting will be we call it a business development seminars, much like tonight, a webinar, and it will be December 1st. And the cool thing about that, a lot of people are going to the Dominican Republic, and they land on the ground Friday, and they're going to tell us what the dream is about on Saturday. And so that'll be a wonderful time. And I recommend you can watch these cool at home in your underwear. But it's a lot more, you'll get more out of it, and so will they if you're all together and dressed and then all that stuff in public, all right? So make it a positive, right? Sit with somebody and believe in them and help them believe in themselves. So, all right, so check Upline. They will tell you where those meetings are. Number 5, That is for you folks here in Ohio, in the Ohio Valley and the East right now. That is January 18th and 19th, and that is the Avalon. At the Avalon, a beautiful resort, a golf resort, just east of here in Warren, Ohio. That is our next winter, regional. I recommend you book your rooms right away, because we some things we can't tell you right now, but it's going to be trust me, book your room right away. All right, so I say that, and number 6 is the best thing of all, and that is we want you to qualify. You know what? Every time we qualify for anything, is we set a goal for ourselves, and when you hit the goal, you get a reward. And this time it's a reward to go to Yellowstone, and that is just west of Yellowstone, out there on the Henry's Forks River, out there in Idaho, just across from the northwest Wyoming, to go to Randy and Valerie's new lake house and get a chance to go out there. It's on your dime, but you got a chance to go fly in there with all the guys, and you get up line and they'll tell you what your qualifications are. I know the qualifications from Minnesota or the qualifications for Arizona, they all may be a little different, but the results are all the same. Sometime in March, you're going to land in Boise, Idaho, and you're going to drive north on the west side of the west side of the Wasatch, in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. Actually, it's where Randy and Valerie's, where the Henry's Forks River is. It is just on the western slope of the Grand Tetons. Type into Google, just type in the word Grand Tetons, and look at the pictures. You said no place looks like that. Well, Judy and I can tell you from our honeymoon, it looks that way on both sides, east and west. And we're just west of them, and it'll be astounding. And the cool thing is, you had to get some people right to that function in January, and that's what you wanted to do anyway. How do we trick ourselves into doing what we want to do and get the results so we can be free? So I say all that. We welcome you. It's been a wonderful night. Thank you, Greg and Bess. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, everybody that spoke. Jan, I can't wait to try you took the pumping gas, to a whole new level. Whoa, nice nails, huh? I love it. So God bless y'all, and we'll see you. It's going to be the most exciting thing because it's new. And I have to be honest, when we were there in Vegas, those Jamboree girls, they sure can get excited. And I thought, Judy says, good competition. They says, all right, we don't want to come to this next function and find out all the pins are Jamboree girls. I thought, hey, we want them in our group. We want them you know what I'm saying? It's a good thing to bring out the best in all of us. And that's what. So God bless y'all, and we will see you. Have a wonderful week. And thanks a lot, guys, and good night.
Hey, everyone. I just wanted to add a couple quick things at the end, if you don't mind. I know that for Bess and I, when all of this came down and all this stuff happened and we got all this information, we realized very quickly that we had a decision to make. And because once we got all the questions that we had answered, and once we got all the information that we needed to know that this was the direction we wanted to go, we had a decision to make. And you have the same decision to make tonight. I know for Bess and I, we have dreams and goals that we've had for many years. We have dreams and goals that have developed over the last 4 or 5 years. And if you have those dreams and goals, you need to right now, this is what you need to do. You need to get the facts about what we're talking about. Get your questions answered and get to the point where you're making a decision. Do I want to run with this idea or not? And when you do, you need to hit the ground and run. You need to make the decision, I'm going to go do this. I listened to everyone talk tonight. I listened to everyone share tonight. And here's what happened. At the very end of all of this, as soon as Gary and Judy are finished, as soon as it's all done, I realized one big thing. This is a phenomenal opportunity. There's no question. And you can come up with whatever excuse you want to come up with, but the bottom line is it's a great one. And it's one that is going to propel those who choose to go with it into the future in a big, big way. And I don't want to be one of the people that sit back and watch it go by. And I don't want to be one of the people that sit back and want to wait for other people to make it happen. Be one of the people that stands up and actually makes it happen, and be that example, and be that example because of the results you've done, because of the work you put in, because of the dreams that you have. That's Bess and myself. We're going to be one of those people. I want to encourage you to be one of those people as well. So Gary and Judy, you did a phenomenal job as always. Thank you for what you shared. And everyone, it is just almost 9 o'clock, so we're actually going to end early. And so I appreciate everybody. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Very good. Good job.
Where am I at? There we are.